Okay, so this one where I do things is I'm gonna fade somehow. So you have a couple fades, right? You can move your body back. You can tenkan. You can do it in, but your fade is more in the tesabaki. So I can't stay here and stop you. And fade. Turn. Right? If I'm going to do going forward, there's a fade right there. And when you do this fade, he has to go one way, you have to go the other. So your angle of deflection is this way to the right. Your angle of deviation is to the left. Okay? So even when you tenkan, you see I'm on the other side. Okay? No movement. I brought him here. I stayed where I was. Then I go. So in almost all your fades, you're going to have that elbow in. Don't go here. Elbow here. It's not going to be enough that you just keep him there and you attempt me. You're on a different spiral than he is. Can you see that? I don't know. Let's try. And he's going around me. You see, he's nowhere near me when I enter. We're on different spirals. He's going that way when I enter. It's the same thing here, small. He's going that way. And I'm going this way. Here we're just passing each other. He can pop me. He doesn't have to block me. He can weave and hit me. You see? So no, not enough. Change his movement. Elbow in. Boom. Put him on a different spot. Boom. And that starts with the elbow in. Elbow in. Boom. No. Alright, try it again. Alright, so I'll simplify my technique there. I get to here. Here's where we're looking. Okay? Don't get greedy and start to pull your elbow down. You're going to ground that foot and you're going to be on his power line. I can't pull that hand down. He has to keep going, you see? And that's why we do the fingers down in the iso. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? And now I start working this thumb like a sankyo. I'll do it incorrectly, and I just go here. Not gonna get there. You have to throw him forward. Fingers down. Boom. Forward he goes. This hand comes under my center. That's what does the cut. Boom. Boom. to here, and that's what moves. Throw him, bring it under your center. That's where your weight goes on that hand. This would be incorrect. Here, 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 incorrect. Very much like you put your weight under your hand here. Now you put your weight over your hand here. So careful you're not doing this stuff. Get him off his foot. Put that under your hand. Off his foot, under your hand. Off, under. Off, under. Off, under. Okay? Go on your thing. Hold under you. That's when my foot moves. When this gets under me, that's when my foot moves. Whatever version you use to get him on the under spiral, remember, boom, that's when my foot moves. So let me standardize it a little. Notice that my hands work together. Boom. Don't get here and then expect that hand to do something. Boom. Boom. So once you're reaching for the hat and your hand is under you, this foot goes behind. Now you're in that spot. Doesn't go first. Goes with the hand. Boom. Slow it down. Elbow. Get him going on a different spiral. Integrity here. You see where he's going that way, I'm going this way, but we're not in front of each other. This is integrity, so you can't jump tracks. He goes around, cut, behind. There's the throw. He's on a different track. Boom. Okay? Try. All right. When I come down here, right? It's doing a dual purpose because the X is actually a spiraling cross. Okay? And so you could turn him like this, you see, here where I left him. But his head, the front of his lever is very high, which makes, for me to get the topsy-turvy effect, this part of his lever has to go high as well. It's not impossible, but it's not tactically sound. So when you lower that leg, that hand, eventually you're going to pin this leg, which is what you want because you don't want him stepping back with you like in La La Land. You eventually want to pin that leg so he has to come around with the other leg. You want that. So I have to go low enough to pin that leg eventually so he steps around. But the lower the front part of the lever, the less I have to lift the back part of the lever to create the topsy-turvy effect. So the higher it is, it's very hard to get that to go over the top. The lower it is, the easier it is to project that over. So don't get lazy and not use your legs. You're like, no, that's all I get. Well, that's a high head. We'll lower it. Shoo, it's way down there. Lower the head. The smaller kokyu you can use. Boom, boom. Okay, let's go. Your power band is in here. Okay? In here. You start going out. And you're going to turn your hips. Okay? So I'm trying to get some power band out here. It doesn't work. It actually, the oppositional energy takes you off base. Okay? This is why when you see people that do kokyu ho and they're going to rotate their hips, they always got to move their feet. Okay? In some way or another. They come around here. You see? There's no power out there. It starts to negatively affect your base, okay? Especially when you're working your internals, you're not turning your waist because you're gonna squeeze the tanden, okay? You only have your quad. You only have your quad. So sometimes as you're doing this technique, you want to see a hip thrust this way, like an omote, or sometimes you want to see a hip rotation this way. But this technique, like all of these outward lateral techniques, they throw across my center. I don't turn my center. Okay? So you're going to look for that as we do this now. Can you see it? I throw across my center. Boom. Here. Boom. Now, if you're thinking straight lines, usually what the straight line people do is they're going to crowd this guy here. Try to get him. Look, watch where his head is on the normal throw. It's right there. But to get my hips square, he has to go there. You see that? Now you start pulling. You can also run into you. We'll just get there. Okay. When I start to bring him this way, and I want him to go where my hips can load him straight, you see? And just try to come into me this way. Try to come into me. No, just a little. We'll move to the next degree. Come into me. No. Now that I start going past that, come into me. And that's what you guys are experiencing. Across your shoulder. If you pay attention, it's kokyu ho. Okay? when you use the quad and you're running the internals is your feet, okay? So my feet, what is now going to be the back foot, cannot be out because the quad can't turn into it. The knee is going to get strained, okay? So the maximum the back foot can turn is 90 degrees to the angle of attack. So this is my angle of attack. I can be 90 degrees to it, okay? So even here, no, it's going the other way. It's fighting your movement. And now you're heel weighted, okay? So if I just relax here after a while with no micro flexion, you'll see I'll lose my balance there, which means I'm not midfoot. So I'm not properly ground vectoring, so I don't have POQ. So you have to watch that. It's not a waist turn. It's just, it turns with my quads. You see? Okay? So pay attention to what's going to become my back foot. Turn. Okay? Boom, boom. It's going to turn. But it's not going to turn like this. And nor are both feet going to turn. And it's not going to be my waist that turns. The pelvis turns. Boom. If he stands up, walk over here, let me manipulate him. You see? It's any Nage. It's any entering stance you have, it's just in a different place. So, I'm not in a horse stance either. I'm not 50-50. Their energy goes here. As the quad turns, weight's going to shift to the front foot. Oh, but I'm not going to keep doing that, okay? Try it again. There's a couple other things. Okay, so don't let me cut your hand down. You see how easy it is, okay? When you turn his body, it's not because you are pulling his arm. I don't want to use that. His fingers, right there. Leave your fingers there, dude. Leave them there. They're here. Leave them there. I'm not using a ledge here to pull him. That's where his grip is. I'm not using that. What this does, as I step, is it brings here. You see? And as I use these two together. Go back. It's not that I go here. Keep your grip, please. And not that I go here and then I catch that head. He already did the turn. Do you see that? You do have some external engines that you're using. Do you see? One, this is to touch. And then I have a new adhesion point, which works together. Okay? So that I don't have to do this kind of stuff. You see? Because he can come into me now again. Come into me. You see? This is an adhesion, not a pull. An adhesion moves him. Hence, your hand has to be ready. Your hand's not ready early enough. It's ready. I go to touch. Then we move together. Boom. Boom. When you adhere, don't adhere on the turn you're seeing. I'm exaggerating that there's a dual adhesion going on. Go back. He's going to try to press up. You see? Just like any Ura technique. The guy's going to get up. When he gets up, I bring it around. bring the energy around. And as I bring it around, just like any Ura technique, I bring it around and down. Do you see? You feel that? So you can, because Kokyu and Aiki are redundant systems, you can do it without the Kokyu. Just keep lowering the Aiki adhesion. So let's try that. Take the X out. We're working one line of the X. Go. Okay, what I'm showing in these last few segments is taking out the inertial engines, which is huge, okay? I don't do Aiki Kokyu like, in some of the Chinese internal drill developments. They don't use the inertia because they're trying to see your skill without it, okay? No, not in Aikido. We're going to use those inertial engines and pair them with the internal engines. Okay, so when I come around on his head, there's going to be centrifugal energy, you see? And it's not acting equally across the length of his body. As I pull the head, the lower part of his body has more centrifugal energy going out. Do you got that? Okay. So as I come here and I do this part, he'll roll because that centrifugal energy is on that same X vector. Got it? I just am now Kokyuing on that X vector. So when we're going to take away the Kokyu hand, it shouldn't be that I have to do something like that, okay? You should just be having those inertial cut across the same Kokyu line. That hip will make him go out, okay? Try it again. However, he'll be in the rolling geometry, got it? But we're not doing the base deconstruction. That's why you Kokyu. Okay? Alright, let's see. But this will give us our Aiki hand. Go. Once you're doing that with your Aiki hand, then this is easy. There's less work for it to do. Watch how low his head is. Watch when he turns around. Okay? Put it together.